When I was still a child, I used to be so fat that my friends are always making fun of me. Some of them say that I look like a potato, and others say I look like a big balloon. Of course, this made me feel so bad about myself, and I had low self confidence ever since. Until I reached grade 6, there was this one boy that kept bullying me. His name is Zach. He always called me shortcake and always compared me to one. One time when I was eating my snacks on break time, he approached me and said I had big cheeks. He reached his hands over and pinched my cheeks so hard that I ended up crying. It wasn't the only time that he made me cry. Whenever there were girls that called me fat and all other bad names, he would always scare them and tell them, I'm the only one allowed to make her cry. When I heard him say that, it made me cry on my way home because of how cruel he was. I was wondering, how could someone hate me so much? There was also that time when I was talking to a potential new friend, Sally. Zach sneaked up behind her and put a spider on her neck. He scared her away and she ended up never talking to me ever again. He was always there annoying me in every step of the way. So up until I graduated, I didn't have many friends. One day, I noticed something different. Everyone was looking at me in a very weird way, and I was so confused why. No one ever dared to talk to me or even bully me. I sat alone at the cafeteria and no one dared to sit with me. I felt so sad and so lonely, but then I felt someone sitting beside me. When I looked up, it was him, my greatest enemy, Zach. He grinned down at me with his evil smile and gave me a cupcake. You're looking thinner, shortcake, he said. Want one? I didn't know what he was up to, but I just knew that he was the reason everyone was looking at me differently, and why no one was talking to me. All the loneliness and anger inside me balled up that I threw the cupcake at him and said, Stop talking to me ever again, I hate you. He was shocked and speechless that he wasn't able to say anything, and with that I left him. From that moment on, he never talked to me or annoyed me ever again. There weren't any bullies who tried to mess with me either. As days went by until graduation, I began to kind of miss his presence. I know he'd been nothing but mean to me, but my life had been so at peace that I'm not used to it anymore. Finally, graduation came and I still didn't see him. And then I thought, maybe I really hurt him that bad, or maybe he really doesn't want to talk to me anymore. But even then, I just had to let it go. When I went home and had dinner with my mom, she talked to me about my dad in another country. She told me that I'd be staying with him for a while. My mom and dad had broken up when I was still a child, and so they'd been living separately after having a divorce. My mom had been having a hard time earning money for a few months now, and she was afraid that her money wouldn't be enough to feed the both of us. Of course, being the obedient daughter that I am, I had no choice. A month went by and my mom said her goodbyes. I met my father and my stepmom at the airport, and they were so happy to see me. My father said he missed me so much and that he would make up for all our lost years together. They don't have any children yet, so that means I'm an only child once again. For once, I had a fresh beginning and got to start all over again in a different place. For 4 years, I was being treated kindly by my parents. I didn't want to be that fat girl anymore that everybody didn't like. So I finally decided to lose weight. So that means no more junk foods, and just apple and water. For 4 years, I kept a balanced diet and worked out every day. I felt really sexy and beautiful. A lot of guys wanted to know my number whenever I walked out on the streets. I had a lot of guy friends who confessed to me that they liked me and asked me out on a date. I may have gone on a couple of dates, but after a while, I found that I wasn't really that interested in any of them. It just felt like there's something missing. After that school year, I talked to my dad and told him that I miss my mom and I want to come back home where I grew up. My father was sad and thought that I didn't like living with him. But I said, no, Dad, it's not you. Finally, I was back home. My mom said I have truly changed a lot and that I looked really different. Now it was getting close to the first day of school. I suddenly felt nervous that someone would know who I am. The next day came by quickly, and I was already known as the new girl. News spread fast across the whole school, and I prepared myself for people asking me how I changed a lot. I noticed no familiar faces of guys who were asking me out. No one approached me and knew me. Boys always looked my way, and girls looked at me with looks of disgust, saying I looked like I had plastic surgery because I looked too pretty, or boob implants because of how big my breasts are. Of course, none of it is new to me, so I just went on my way. But that is until some girls approached me and said they wanted to be friends. But then I realized something. They were my two bullies when I was in grade 6. Now they want to be friends? But what shocked me the most was when they said, "What is your name?" My used to be bullies didn't know who I was. For a while, it made me happy that they were kind to me. I finally said who I was, and when they found out, they were shocked. Then they asked, "What happened to you and Zach? Didn't you two used to go out?" I was speechless for a while. Me and Zach? And then they said, "When he heard some girls saying bad stuff about you, he told everyone that you were going out with him and that if anyone tried to mess with you, he would mess with them." That didn't surprise me. Zach is a really strong guy and he was known for his skills in fighting. So all those times, was he trying to protect me? When he was following me and always giving me cupcakes, was he there to not make me feel lonely? When I realized this, I knew I made a huge mistake. Our last encounter wasn't good at all. But even before that could happen, my worst nightmare came true. In my heart, I really wish that I'll see him again. The girls that bullied me before had spread a rumor that I used to be a fat girl. They posted my fat picture and compared it to how I look today, saying I looked like I had liposuction, a surgery that will remove fats from your body. I was beyond embarrassed and everybody was looking at me with weird looks. I sat alone in the cafeteria and ate alone once again. Loneliness consumed me. Then I felt someone sitting beside me. When I looked up, I saw him, Zach, looking down at me saying, "You're looking thinner, shortcake." Then he handed me a cupcake. "Want one?" I was beyond shocked to see him again. He had changed a lot. A handsome, tall guy. He was the only guy that liked me ever since I was fat. The one who liked me for being who I am. I tried to resist eating the cupcake because I promised myself to never eat sweet things again. But in the end, I just took it anyway. I knew then that even though not everyone will like me, as long as I have him and as long as I'm happy, that's all that matters.